At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button as you come to the chat room again. Please hit that like button as you come into the chat room. I greatly appreciate it. I love every single one of you. Thank you all for the support over the years. It really means a lot. Again, thank you all for the support over the years. It really means a lot. Let's see here. Got a couple of announcements. So Sierra Leone, I'm going to be updating the site soon. So if you guys don't know, citizenship in Sierra Leone is back on the table. So I know for a minute it was kind of in limbo, but now it is officially back on. So Sierra Leone, April 20th through May 4th, mark your calendars. A group will be going. Again, a group will be going. Sierra Leone, April 20th through May 4th. I'll be updating the site here shortly. And yes, they've changed the policy when it comes to citizenship. So really the only changes are you have to come twice. So the days of coming, coming and leaving with the passport within 2 weeks, those days are over. Again, the days of coming and leaving with a passport within a period of 2 weeks, those days are over. So you have to come twice. One time in either April or November, then you have to wait a year to come again, and then that's when you get your passport. So the group that comes this April, you'll be getting your passports next April. The group that came this past November with me, you'll be getting your passport in November. And the group that comes in November, you'll be getting your passports next November. So this is pretty much a year period that you have to wait in order to get your passports, to get your citizenship. So once again, Sierra Leone citizenship is back on the table. Other changes, they are accepting more DNA companies. So still African ancestry, but then also ancestry.com and 23andMe, they're accepting. And I don't know if it's CSI or CRI. I got to get clarity on that. But for sure, ancestry.com, African ancestry, and 23andMe, they are accepting those three DNA testing companies. And then it's either CSI or CRI. I got to get clarity on what that fourth one is. But I know the majority of people take, and we're going to get into that. How exactly is the AIDS rates increasing in South Africa? And why do you need aid from America to combat that? You could give me a couple $1,000, and I know exactly what to do to combat the AIDS situation in South Africa. It's education. Is really simple, but we'll get into that later. Shout out to Marie Shy. Marie, I love you, Marie. Y'all, we're gonna celebrate Marie today. Marie has been down. Marie came to my first tour that I ever did. Here, let me put Marie up here. Let's celebrate Marie today, y'all. Let's celebrate Marie. Marie came on my first tour that I ever did to Africa, to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival in 2019. And Marie has been consistently in the chats, moderating and supporting. So we want to give a round of applause to Marie. Marie, thank you. We love you. Thank you for the support. It really means a lot that you've been here for years now. You've been here for years. That and that first tour, y'all, was the first tour I ever did to Africa. So, Marie and that group, y'all was kind of the guinea pigs. We was kind of trying to figure things out. We had a great time though. We had a great time. But like that first group, you still trying to sometimes figure things out. But I got this stuff down like clockwork now in my sleep because I've been doing it so long and been traveling back and forth so long. So shout out to Marie, for the continued support. It really, really means a lot. So visit Danfo.Africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo.Africa. We're rolling to Sierra Leone in April. They were going to Senegal in May, but as of right now, that trip is sold out. Senegal sold out. Thank you everybody who's rolling to Senegal with me. We got some spots open for Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Then we're going to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue, and then we're going to Namibia in South Africa, a 2-for-1er. That's going to be November 7th through November 18th. We're doing dunes and Amapiano. So we're going to be doing dunes in Namibia. Then we're going to do some Amapiano. I'm a party with y'all one night. I'll be asleep at 11 o'clock every night. But I'm going to go out one night when we go to Cape Town. And we're going to do some Amapiano. We're going to hang out. And then we're going to do Sierra Leone again in December. Not sure if in January, if I'm going to do Benin for the Voodoo Festival. I'm not sure. I might go myself, but I'm not sure if I'm going to take a group. But we'll see. But, once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Visit Danfo.Africa. That's DANFO.Africa. And pretty soon, I'm going to link I have another URL as well that I'm probably going to link to the site as well. So let's jump into today's topic. Aid. Donald Trump is canceling aid to South Africa because of the whole land repatriation laws and rules. Because if you guys don't know, so little brief history on South Africa. You had a system of apartheid, which is similar to Jim Crow here in America. And you have the difference is here in America, Black people were the minority. So we were, obviously outnumbered. But in South Africa, the minority, which are the whites, control the majority of the resources, land, real estate, just resources in general. So at the end of apartheid, the government of South Africa, they implemented laws where they would start to repatriate the land from, the white owners to either the government or to the indigenous Black population. I don't know how that's working out. I don't know how that's going. Exploration of land without compensation. Well, I thought they were getting compensated for the land anyway. I thought they were getting compensated for the land. But anyways, so this is still a thing. I don't know how it's working out, but Donald Trump recently signed an executive order where, because of this law or rule, that he's going to stop aid to South Africa. And South Africa, being a sovereign country, I would just be like, look, okay, sign your executive order, screw your aid, and we're going to do what we're going to do. That's what I would think South Africa would do. Cancel your aid. We don't need your aid. And we're going to do what we're going to do. But instead, it seems like South Africa, they're just kind of like wanting to negotiate and being very careful. And, I hear in the chat room and other Africans complaining, well, the aid is needed. And why would you get rid of the aid? It's the wrong thing to do. And I'm just saying to myself, why should the United States of America be responsible for the social programs of South Africa when there are many social programs here in America that are struggling? Prime example, I'm in Atlanta. The homelessness is nowhere like Los Angeles, but it's starting to get out of control. So you have all these social programs here in America that need funding. Why should we be funding the social programs in South Africa? And somebody brought up, well, what about AIDS? If they take away guys, this is my Patrice Lumumba shirt, by the way. So remember, this was Tupac, but damn, what's the name of the brand? Golly, I got to shout out the brand. Guys, give me a second. God damn, I can't. Oh shoot, golly, I'll get to it in a second, guys. So I got to shout out the brand, so you guys go and cop a shirt. Oh man, come on, Diners. Okay, it's back here somewhere. We'll get to it in a second. All right, maybe my other shirt is over there. Okay, whatever. We'll get to it in a second. Right? Yeah, but see now, so some people are saying that Elon is wrong for what he's doing. Should stay out, mind his own business, and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But you got guys like Julius Malema, who's an elected official in the government, who's been saying, let's get rid of the white people. He's been saying it for years. And we all know, don't get me wrong, Trump said some outrageous stuff. But here in America, there was an elected official, somebody in government, who was saying what Julius Malema was saying. They'll be out of here. But you have Julius Lamemba and the EFF saying what they're saying. So Trump and Elon Musk responded accordingly. Well, or Elon Musk via Trump responded accordingly. You have to take that into consideration. Now, is Julius Malema bluffing or not? We don't know. U.S. aid to South Africa in 2024 was about $400 million. Oh, wow. Yeah, but do the people really see all $400 million worth of this aid? Does the South African people really see even a drop of that aid? Do they even see it? And that's the problem. Do you really need $400 million to combat AIDS in South Africa? Listen, give me $100,000. Again, give me $100,000. All you gotta do is give out condoms, safe sex, material, ads or whatever. Don't use dirty needles. And that solves the majority of it. Why do you need all this money to combat AIDS when it's like, listen, use a condom, practice safe sex, and don't use, I don't know, the term is hypodermic. Don't share hypodermic needles. It's really that simple. That aid was 17% of our HIV protection program. That's a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. But guys, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. But I mean, literally, South Africa, hey, we don't want your aid. We're going to do what we're going to do. Take your aid and shove it you know where. There you go. All right, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Why Afrikaners aren't leaving their wine fields in Cape Town to work for McDonald's in the U.S. is not happening. Yeah, they're not giving that land up. No matter how much Julius Malema threatens the Afrikaners, they ain't going nowhere. It doesn't make sense. I have all this land, I have all this wealth in South Africa, one of the most beautiful countries on the planet, and you want me to come to the United States of America? Nah. No. And again, no matter how much Julius Malema threatens or tells the white South African to do, you know what? They're not going nowhere. All right, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to click on a link and add to the conversation. Why would they go back to Europe? When you own 70% of some of the most beautiful real estate on the planet in South Africa, why would you want to go back to cold ass Europe or even come to America? Why? Think about it. When you own all that beautiful real estate in South Africa, why would you want to leave? South Africa is a beautiful country. Go ahead.
All right. You know, I firstly believe that it is actually, you know,
Hey, you're going
for people to be strong, right?
I was going to say you're going in and out, but go ahead. We hear you now.
No, I'm talking on the topic. Yeah. All right. Are you getting me now?
It's a little bit better. Go ahead.
All right. So what I was saying is sometimes negative things happen to make us stronger. The thing that happened with Trump and South Africa is actually going to help Americans to be optimistic about it. Let them see it as a challenge that they that like to make the West to know that they don't need aid from them to make it. And South Africa.
Hey, you keep going in and out, guys. When you
Should not
call
going to
in,
cause some disrespect to them internationally. Are you hearing me right?
you're better. I mean, you just keep going in and out. Like your connection is, yeah.
Yeah, I already know now.
Okay, let me pass the Ohm call. Let me pass the Ohm call. Go ahead, Ohm call.
All right, thank you, Dinas. Peace to everybody. Dinas, I keep on telling you this. Sometimes, you don't just treat the subject, top. Just be a little bit substantiative or go a little bit deeper. Since I lived in South Africa, this is what I'm gonna say. And especially when it comes to aid. Let me start with the Afrikaners. Those lands. when the Afrikaners came there, they didn't get that. They didn't buy the land which they own now. As if I can speak on the side of South Africa, I've lived there. I saw the applied. I lived the experience. I had friends Afrikaners side, and melanated South African people. I understand their plight, bro. The Afrikaners, when they came, all these Caucasian, when they came to South Africa, they displaced people. There are areas like, you see, for example, if you've ever been in Cape Town, there is a Cape Town CBD. There is an area where African people used to live, and they moved them and put them in the area called, they used to call it Bantustan, like not fertile land. So they took their land away. Now, with the negotiation which was taking on, there was supposed to be a process where some land will start going back to the natives. But South African being the white South African being economically powerful as they were, and with connection, because this is another thing which a lot of people don't know. The apartheid in South Africa was supported by many economic interests and the military interest. Let me just say interest in United States, especially, and Israel. Those countries, even when some other European countries started standing against apartheid, the United States and Israel was among the last. So when we come down to AIDS, this is, if I can go back into as I've always said, the history of why the motives, why the United States provide all this aid to this country. It's after they get involved with this country, or they mess up something, now later on, when they feel guilty, the politicians, because they know, that's how, it's like their way of repairing something which they mess up, or something which they were involved in, but they don't want to admit publicly, like, yes, we owe these people reparation. That's when they go through the channel of aid. And I'll give an example to my country of origin, like now Congo. The United States is involved in using Rwanda and Uganda as a proxy. Not the United States like people, but political interest, economic interest, and Pentagon official using Rwanda and Uganda as a proxy in their war against Congo, destabilizing Congo, getting those minerals for cheaper price. Of course, I'm not going to say that Congolese leadership doesn't have anything to do with that. But later on, when things will, like, let's say when Congolese get their things to get their shit together, and they start asking, accounts and following those companies, that's when the US will come in and say, oh, okay, we can give you aid maybe to set up a tribunal, international tribunal court for Congo, for example, so that you can bring to account all those people committed this criminal act. In that way, they control that thing. That's how the US use aid. That's another part. So you cannot just blame saying that why South Africa. No, you have to go deep in the history of this aid and why the US is doing it. Now, right now, with this story of aid, cutting aid to South Africa and providing the Afrikaner, so-called Afrikaner immigration start in the US, there we go again. Some people have been saying that maybe Donald Trump is a white supremacist, and we were neutral. Do you know that Trump stopped immigration, especially like a humanitarian immigration to all African countries? But why is he like pushing it to Afrikaner? I think it's some tendency of white supremacy there, So I'll stop there, but since I'm not in a good area, but I'll listen and then I'll react later on.
All right, go ahead, Blaze.
Yeah, thanks. My thing is, when they dismantled the apartheid, why didn't they seize all the land? Take care, resolve that issue. Why is it today they want to try to take the land? I mean,
they were very weak when they dismantled apartheid.
Hold on a second, hold on. Come on, man. Let me just say my piece. All right, I got my opinion on this. So they had the opportunity to address that situation with the land years ago. They let it linger. Now, if you look at the world today, the consensus is we moving forward. We're not going back to the past anymore to address problems in the past. This is the issue that I think a lot of Africans and Black people, it's a hurdle that we are not able to get over. They're moving forward, man, with or without us. You know, this addressing grievances from the past, those days, that ship sailed. Look at how in the US they already dismantled affirmative action. They're dismantling DEI. It's time that we move forward. That's my piece.
All right. Dinus, I want to come back because when I was talking today, you said I was going on and off. Are you getting me clearly now, right?
This is better. Go ahead.
All right. So what I was saying is I see that as you know, some South Africans are complaining that what they did was not right and America should continue with the aid program. And all I believe is if they continue to complain like that, it will
Hey, hold
disrespect
it.
for them.
Hold it. You got to call in on a different device or switch to your Wi-Fi because you keep going in and out, bro. Like issues. When you guys call in, make sure your devices and your connection is together because you just keep going in and out. Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the
All right.
chat room. If you want to call in, please click on the link. But yeah, you keep going in and out. We winning. Go ahead. We winning. We winning. Unmute yourself. We winning.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to the situation at hand, the welfare program is done. Can we all agree?
We winning. You going out too, man. Y'all get your
Hello.
Obama phones together when
Man,
you
I got
call
an
in.
iPhone, brother. What are you talking about? Obama phone. Can you hear me?
You got the Obama special edition iPhone.
Man, I got the Joe Biden.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on. Y'all can't hear me? Hello?
We hear you now, but you went out. Go ahead.
All right. Like I said, the welfare program is gone. This is where you guys need to be self-efficient, both here in America and on the continent. You got to hold your own nuts. Essentially, you got to hold your own nuts. And even when the situation of aid was going, most of the money was being looted anyway. Respectfully, we have given aid for the past 50, 60 years. Enough money to be able to generate a situation of means of production, scenarios of infrastructure when it comes to hospitals, roads, ports, etc. So now, like Little Kenyatta said, now it's time for us to be able to build on our own. And I'm glad that finally an ex-Kenyan leader said something about the situation and laughed, had a great laugh of how ironic, how everything is now a situation where now you have to become more self-reliant. Hopefully with the situation of the aid being cut, a lot of these globalists, the Clintons, a lot of these foundations that's been literally moving kids, trafficking, human harvesting, body harvesting, they can literally be defunded. So for anybody that's literally getting involved when it comes to the continent, please, let's focus on a situation of using our private sector monies that we get from the United States, from the UK, from the Caribbean, and to be able to develop manufacturing, warehousing, and logistic models in the continent of Africa. No matter if you're in the West African bloc in Nigeria, which Nigeria has an opportunity boom where there's going to be 1.3 billion people in that country in the next 15 to 20 years. So when it comes to the situation of the DEI, that didn't benefit you anyway. White women got most of the maximum benefited anyway. Unless you're a white woman, I don't see why anybody's babbling and crying, because most of the situation went to them through based off of gender, not based off of race. So when it comes to everything, Dinus, I find it to be very, very enlightening. Very enlightening. Because due to the fact that, one, the money wasn't going to the people anyway. Two, finally, these people can stop looting the money and actually use whatever they have left in their coffins, in Swiss bank accounts, in Geneva, Germany, and repatriate that money to be able to help. So the welfare money is gone. The ATM is closed. That's the only thing I got to say. The ATM is closed.
Super chat. Thank you, Mr. Man, for the $4.99 holla. In 2018, a Chinese scientist vaccinated 2 babies and made them immune to HIV infection. His work was considered unethical, and he was arrested. Oh wow. Okay. Um. So Blaze, when you say so Blaze, are you saying pretty much that the deals that were made like via civil rights, and at the end of the apartheid, the Truth and Reconciliation, I don't know, initiative that they had in South Africa, and so those deals that were made, that they should just let it go, and it is what it is. That you're saying, Blaze?
Well, I'm not really educated on a lot of that stuff in South Africa. I just know the basics. And my thing is, I remember when the Truth and Reconciliation came about after they got rid of apartheid. I was saying to myself, at that stage, they should have seized the land, but they didn't seize the land. Instead, they, making negotiations.
Right, exactly. So are you saying that them trying to seize the land now in 2025 is just kind of like a mute point because they already made the deal and didn't seize it when
Right.
they should?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, let me read the super chat. Also, Trump said he would prioritize Afrikaners' visas to the U.S. over other foreigners. Better believe some of them were apartheiders. Well, you know what? Let me tell you what's going on Twitter right now, or on X. So Elon Musk is playing all of these Julius Malema videos, chanting "Kill the white South Africans, kill the Boer," and Julius Malema is an actual an official, like a government official. So it's kind of like, I know people think like Elon Musk and Trump is over exaggerating with this, but when you got a government official yelling "kill the Boer" and "kill the white South African" and dancing on a stage with hundreds of thousands of people dancing with them, I mean, that is like kind of like proof. Am I making sense, Omcall? To back up with President Trump's executive order.
Hi, Dynast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, Maybe just to jump in on that, right? Oh, my
Uh-huh.
name is Moose, by the way. I'm from South Africa. Maybe just to give you a perspective, that's actually a song. He was not just yelling, right? And that's a struggle song, and that. Oh, my apologies. Just want to fix my mic. That has already went through like courts, right? And that song was found to be not hate speech. So it's not necessarily yelling, it was a song, a struggle song that our parents used to sing, that our great great parents used to sing when when they lost the land. So it's a very, very emotional thing, right? I can tell you my family story when it comes to that. So when people actually let me not even go to that, right? So when people sing that song, it's a reminder that the land issue is still in question, right? And as to why it was not negotiated, um, the land was not taken in 1994. It was because there was something called a, a negotiated settlement, right? So basically, the apartheid government had the military, they had nuclear weapons, they had control over the levers of power, they had American support, right? So you can say they're a minority, right? But they have Western support, right? So it's not that easy. I understand when you think about it, it's as simple as they could have just taken the land, right? But basically, we had to also come up with a plan, which is called the NDR, National Democratic Revolution, right? And it's 30-year, 25-year plan, right? It's almost like slow boiling like a frog, and not just putting the frog in hot water, because there's things that we needed as black people. We needed education. We needed resources. We needed to educate our people just so that when we implement this thing, it there's not going to be questions as to, okay, you guys are not following the constitution, you guys are killing white people. Basically, white people, the Boers are saying we are killing them, right? There's a genocide because it's just some random crime in a farm. So they just tally that up, and all the crimes that happen in a farm, they're basically saying it's white people being killed. Even though there's black people who are farmers, there's also farm workers. They don't care about that because there's an interest group called AfriForum and Solidarity. That's just basically an Afrikaner group.
Muzzy, let me ask you a question. Should a political official be yelling, "Kill the white man," kill the Boer, cut the throat of whiteness? I mean, should they? I'm just saying, Muzzy. Should
Thank
they
you.
be allowed to do that? Go
Sorry,
ahead,
just
Muzzy.
repeat that for me. Sorry.
Yeah, Muzzy, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, man. I'm just trying
Because
to look
the reason why
Yeah.
I said that, Muzzy, because if in America, if a
Yeah.
political official, say a white political official, right,
Yeah.
was to be
Yeah.
singing, Omcar, you got a lot of Omcar, I gotta mute you. You got a ton of background noise. So, Muzzy, say a white political official was to be
Yeah.
singing like songs from the KKK or Nazi songs.
But
He'll be out.
that,
He'll be out of there. Like he'll be out
you
of
see
there regardless.
that equation, those two things do not match. That is a struggle song, and it doesn't come from black people killing the boys. So unlike maybe KKK and the Nazis and stuff like that, it's not that. Besides that, right?
Hey,
Apparently,
one second. Omcar, like
Thank
don't unmute yourself, Omcar, because you have a ton of background noise. Don't unmute yourself. All right, go ahead, Muzzy.
so apparently America has right now the right wing gang. They are pushing for freedom of speech, right? So a song is part of a freedom of speech, which is covered.
Muzzy,
And yeah,
you're correct. And when you say freedom of speech, you can
yeah,
sing it and not
yeah.
be, I would say, arrested, but you still could be fired from your job. I guess that's
No,
what a disconnect is.
like
So,
our democracy doesn't work like that. Even white people, there's still white people who use that all racist flag. They fly it like in their houses. There's members in parliament that use that flag, right? So our freedom of speech is broader, right? But obviously, there's also you're not free from consequences, right? Hence,
Mhm.
they took Malema and his party to court. So it went to the equality courts. Yeah, there's something called the equality courts, where this thing was venerated in courts. Malema was put on a stand, and he had to explain why was he singing the song, and if that song was directly correlated to any farm matters or any um, white person being abused or any white person being hurt or something like that. But if you go online, maybe on YouTube, you can find a video of Malema in courts where he actually had to explain that. And the interest group, which is AfriForum, which is Solidarity, that represents white Boer interests, they also had their chance to put their evidence, right? So this thing was venerated in court, and it didn't hold. And the judge was white, the prosecutor was white. So it's not as easy as, okay, you are singing. So obviously when it, we have political rallies, right, like in the US, but ours are different because the struggle songs, everything with us, it's based on like singing, right? Because that's the only way we could uplift ourselves at that time. So there's still songs that we still sing. Why people they still sing this stem, which is part of it is part of our national anthem. But the stem was like the national anthem was changed, but they took a certain section of the stem in order to accommodate white people. So everything that has been done since '94 was to accommodate white people and make them feel comfortable. But obviously, it seems like they've been overly comfortable, and they thought probably going. They've been lobbying the U.S. for this thing for some time, like for years, right? They've been in Congress. They've been lobbying this thing. And another thing is Elon Musk and Gary. I think it's Gary Player and Peter Thiel. I think it's Peter Thiel, and there's some other billionaire. Those billionaires are South Africans, so they have been axe to grind. So now they are using the American office in order to impose themselves and interfere in the politics of like South Africa, especially Elon Musk. Elon Musk wants to um, have his company there, Starlink, but you can't just have Starlink there without a certain percentage of um, the ownership of your company, like what they're doing to TikTok. Basically, they want to do the same thing with Starlink, which is something that we have. It's a policy that we have, which is like BEI, Black
BEE.
Economic Empowerment, BEE,
Yes.
right? So he's been trying to put Starlink in South Africa, right? But the government is not budging. They're saying you need to comply with this, or we won't have Starlink here. And basically, it's not like we are in need of Starlink because it's shit expensive. Pardon my language. But whatever is here currently, the internet, whatever the connection, it's fine. We have a lot of competition. It's fine. It's not like we're in need of like Starlink. But because he just wants to prove that he can just barge his way in as a billionaire, so he's using the office of the United States to just bully his way around. Add to that, South
That's
Africa is part of
correct.
BRICS, and they're the weakest, like in BRICS, right? But also, South Africa is almost like a pathway, like a gateway into Africa in some, in some way, shape, or form, especially when it comes to the services um, market, like in terms of the economy, like and the banking sector and all that stuff. So we are, I think, America is our second um, trading partner after China, right? So although they are giving us this aid, which is less than 1% of our GDP, which I think we could almost like squeeze ourselves and like put up this money and cover the HIV protection program, right? It's just that it's an inconvenience now because the NGOs that deal with that, obviously they will have to, be frozen until we find this money. But it's an inconvenience, but not that much of an inconvenience. The I think what they're looking at is going into September. There's something called AGOA, right? I think it's African something
Growth
African,
initiative.
yeah,
Growth initiative. Well,
African Growth Initiative, where there's certain goods that are allowed into the U.S. market without them being tariffed, right? So if that program is cut, so obviously you can just imagine there's manufacturers, there's farms that are going to be affected and jobs are going to be affected. But now the thing is, this interest group, which is AfriForum and Solidarity, that we're lobbying America to interfere in the political sphere of South Africa. They didn't think that Trump was going to go this far. Their members are part of AGOA. So if Trump slaps maybe let's say sanctions and maybe he pulls out of AGOA, they are in the heat. They are going to be affected. We as black people were used to poverty. Trust me, we used to poverty. It's going to hurt us, but not as much as it's going to hurt them, right? So now they're panicking. They're panicking and they've lied while they were lobbying. They were busy lobbying with lies, saying that there's a genocide in South Africa and there's this and that, and black people, I mean, white people are being treated unfair and all that stuff. And but then there's no land that's being confiscated. There's no proof of that. Expropriation has been in our constitution since since it was like the constitution was like introduced. It's been part of our constitution, but it said land can be expropriated um, at a fair compensation or something like that. Willing buyer, willing seller. Not even fair, meaning that your land could be like $100 million could be worth that. Let's say that, for example, but you'd want $1 million for it, and the government wouldn't be able to buy that land. So basically, we were stuck there. So now we need. So Julius wants to push expropriation without compensation for everything, right? But now we have to. It has to be a balancing act. We have to be realistic about this thing because it's either we bring down the whole economy and we try and dig ourselves up, or we do this thing slowly, right? So part of this, it's just a middle ground between that, which the white people were comfortable with, and that the white people are uncomfortable with. So it's the middle ground, but it's something that is very threatening to them because they know that how this thing is crafted right now, it it it, it it's not against our constitution, and but also it's not for them because they have land that's just laying barren, right? That's not being used, and the government cannot then expropriate that land and use it, and the government doesn't even know who owns that land, right? So this expropriation with fair compensation, and in some instances for public interest, the government can confiscate the land for zero compensation. So they then went to the United States to say the government is confiscating land without compensation. So this thing is way broader, and it's not as complex. But now the reason why white people are like panicking, that interest group, is because they now realize that this is also going to hurt them in terms of their economics. So it's not nice for them, but also Trump has said they're killing you there. You can come to America because I also need white people to also like bolster like my vote because the birth rates in America are low. And Trump has said that he'd rather have white people than black people or like Latinos and stuff, kick those out. Let's bring in more white people, right? So he also sees it as an advantage, but then the white people from here will never move to America because they'll never have that privilege in America because they are some of them are very, I don't want to say this, but they are not, they won't work in a farm like, you know, like immigrants. They'll manage, but they won't work. They won't drive a bus. They won't clean the streets. because they're used to privilege. They won't clean after themselves because black people clean their houses. Black people do the hard labor. So when they go to other countries, they can't stay there. They can't. So now they're trapped in a quagmire because everyone is saying, "Oh yeah, we're killing you, so it's fine. We can even help you pack up and you can move, and you're making it easy for us because we could just like take that land and implement expropriation for public interest for your land, and you can go and revoke your citizenship because you're a refugee, so you're an asylum seeker, so our expectation is like you're never going to come back here. I mean, yeah. So basically, I know that it's convoluted, but that's like the gist of what is like happening.
Okay, let me pass it to America's first rifleman. Go ahead, AFR. Unmute yourself. AFR. All right, go ahead, call.
Thank you, Muzi, for coming. Siyabonga mfowethu. Mina ndivele makloseni. Yeah, Dynas, do you see? This is the importance of when we treat subject like this, to have somebody from that country intervene. As I said, you see, every time you are saying Malema is a government official, Malema is not a government official. Malema is a politician, but is opposition.
No, he's a member. He's a member of parliament. He's a member of parliament.
Yes. Yeah. So he's a government. If he's a member of parliament, he's a government official.
Hold on. Another thing, as Muzi said, that song, I think it's Dubuli Bulu. As he said, is a struggle song. It doesn't mean that it's not calling for people to go and kill the Boers, but it's a struggle song. It's in their history. It's in their DNA.
I understand that, but again, even if there's a struggle song here and say there's a struggle song that dealt with killing white people because black people were enslaved here in America. That was sung
it's when they were fighting. It's when they were fighting for struggle. So it was not only killing everybody.
I clearly understand the meaning behind the song. I'm just telling you. You guys have to let me finish talking. Don't interrupt me.
No. I'm saying I don't agree with it.
Let him finish.
All right. So again, here in America, say you have a black politician, right? Say they were singing a struggle song from slavery, killing white people, and they were out saying, "We gotta kill the white people, we gotta kill the cracker, we gotta kill the white people." They'll be gone. That's what I'm saying. I think that's where the disconnect is. Even though you have freedom of speech, there's certain stuff you can't say, and you'll
But some can say it.
You can say it, but I'm saying you'll still lose your job. That's the part I'm saying. Like you'll still lose your job.
His job.
Huh?
No, I'm saying Trump he's been a proponent of free speech. He's been saying more than that, right?
What did he say? What did Trump say when he said kill black people?
What did he say?
What did Trump say when he said? Did he say kill black people?
No. I'm not saying in terms of saying kill black people, but I'm saying there's things that Trump has done and said that but he's still in office, right? So it's not like people would drag him out of office and or arrest him. But I'm saying there is things that he's saying to different like interest groups in America, and is not held accountable for it, right?
Like what?
And
give me an example. Give me an example.
Okay, let me just think of something that he has said. Who are those people marching in with torches and he will not replace us?
Yeah, the KKK and the the ultra. I mean the white supremacist group.
And I mean, there's been things, right? But besides that,
people on both sides.
Right, they're right. They're right. Did you listen to the entire speech? There were good people on both sides.
Yes, but also the song that they're talking about, there's a context to it, right? It's not just a song that you just go in a mall or like in a public area and you just sing it. It was sang probably maybe twice, 3 times, and a lot of people have said, yes, even though you have freedom to sing that song, we are way past it. You shouldn't be singing that song. But also, you shouldn't lose your job because you sang that song, because it's a struggle song. right? You
Let me add
shouldn't.
something else, Moses.
Also, our constitution is very liberal as well, right? Which is yeah. So there's things that I agree with and not agree with, but it's something that is on paper. That Elon Musk cannot say, you guys, Cyril, you need to do something about this, or to our president. Like
Hey,
you can't. It's
hello,
a
Danny.
different party.
Lewis, hold on, Muzzy, you got 20 seconds, Lewis. I gotta pass the mic.
Can I finish also my thought?
No,
to
you
No.
can't.
I'm done.
After Muzzy, I gotta pass the mic.
No,
All right,
no,
let me
no,
pass.
no. I'm done. I'm done. Dennis.
Let me pass it to let me unmute Lewis and pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, Danny.
Go ahead, Lewis. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
About 87, 88. Me and a Jamaican friend of mine went to a very nice function in Brixton. And we had the privilege of seeing Mr. Jesse Jackson bring on none other than the legendary our aunt, who's now an ancestor now, Winnie Mandela, on stage. She had a standing ovation. Me and my friend counted it. It was about 23 to 25 minutes. Most of us there, if they were recruiting for people to fight in South Africa, that time, we would all signed up. As an African, South Africa is one of the biggest disappointments on the continent of Africa. I know they're still a powerhouse, but they're a big disappointment. Zimbabwe showed you how you deal with this white people on the continent. And if you're too cowardly to face them on the battlefield, then you shouldn't be coming here talking this and talking that. Zimbabwe can tell them what the hell to do because they fought. You refuse to fight. You cowered it down. You cowered it down. So listen to me. In going forward, everything that Trump says, you deserve it. Because he don't respect you.
Fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay?
Trump can do whatever he wants to do.
Listen, the rest of us in Africa don't want to hear
no more.
We don't want to hear no more blah, blah, blah.
Whether you want to hear it or don't want to hear it, we are doing it.
8% of the population.
We are doing it. We are doing it.
Of the population.
How long? Whether we're doing it after 60 years, we are doing it now.
How long has it been?
Whatever is in the news is because we are doing something now.
Why have you waited for Trump
you
to get in power?
White people are uncomfortable? You think white people are uncomfortable because we just passing like by
they're not comfortable, my friend. They ain't scared of you. They're not
very uncomfortable. I'm telling you now. I stay in this country. I know the temperature. I stay in this country. I know you are talking. You are talking from a helicopter view.
Listen to me. You had a chance to speak. Let us speak. Yeah, this is Dynasty show.
I am not. You're not going to do that.
Right? This is Dynasty show. So
I am not going to
If you are not prepared to die for your country, the white man is telling you he's prepared to do that. This is the difference between your ancestors who fought and you cowards.
You give them too much credit.
Okay? You're quick to kill a Nigerian on the street. If he does something wrong, you're
talking about what you don't know, my friend.
Don't generalize. I don't know.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I know you're coward.
You're running your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about?
Where are you? Where are you? I'm in South Africa. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those Africans who run to other countries. I'm in South Africa. I live that reality every day. I live that reality. Whether you like it, whether you agree with it, whether I don't care. I don't care.
It's not even been negotiating.
We are doing it now.
You should tell him to get lost and deal with your own country problem.
Now, that's what we just told him.
Luis,
do you watch the news?
Muzi, let me say this. You know, Muzi, what I think South African different from South African the way Zimbabwe went. You know, all people don't have to go the same way. I think South Africa.
Zimbabweans are in South Africa, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I agree. You don't have to go the same way. You don't have to go the same way. Yes. But how you liking the way you went?
Hold on, Luis. You know,
we don't do things the same way. Africans are not the same.
They thought like this. You know, South African. You know, that time the Boers were still holding the nuclear power as it was.
Brother, listen to me.
Let me finish it
very carefully. Listen, hear me out. I'm 55 years of age.
Okay.
We deal with people's lives there. We don't gamble, bro. We do not gamble.
Listen to me, okay? When I arrived in this country as a 10-year-old, my dad had me sitting in front of a BBC TV every time the news came on.
Don't
And
talk.
we
Don't
saw,
talk to me if you are in the UK.
listen to me very
Don't talk
carefully.
to
Let
me
me
if you're
finish.
you're
Let me
talking to
finish.
someone who's in Africa, in the UK,
Listen
and you're
to
telling
me.
me what to do.
If you listen,
What a
okay,
hypocrite!
if you listen to me, you realize I
Moses,
come
let
from
me
Africa
speak.
too.
Let me speak, Booty.
Sure.
My father sat me in front of the TV every evening during the Bush Wars. We watched that. Then the apartheid kicked in. It got worse. Zimbabwe is literally, they won the independence by the barrel of the gun. They only had 2 weeks to go. They suffered, listen, they suffered great losses. In the last minute, they negotiated, but they had already won. It came at a great loss of their people. And then the South African one kicked in. We watched it. I watched it from the age of 10 to the age of 18 when I saw Mandela myself. All of us, the whole world was expecting war.
So you're disappointed
The
that
evil
there was no
bastard, would you listen? The evil idiot who killed Chris Sani is proud and boasting about it on YouTube. Go and check it out. The killer of Chris Sani. You know who Chris Sani is?
I live in the country.
You know Chris
Why
Sani
did
is?
you ask
Good.
what happened?
Listen to me very carefully. You made a big mistake. You made a big mistake when you negotiated. You should have fought to the death.
Yes, we made a mistake. That's why.
Okay, now you didn't listen.
No,
Now you're not listening now. You're not listening now. Listen to me. Listen to me carefully. Listen.
Your life,
Listen. That's why nobody respects you. You should be prepared to die. You should be prepared to die. The Zimbabwean people did. You ain't. That's the difference.
There's
live with the consequences.
many ways to skin a cat.
Muzi, let me explain to him. But Mr. Lewis, look at it now at this way. Now they have more educated people who can take over those farms.
Listen, let me tell you what you got. You got cowards. You got cowards. They don't respect you. No one is respecting you.
You think spilling blood will solve the problem?
Louis,
that's you.
What are you talking
should
about?
have drove them to the sea. Say that.
You guys let them in. You're the only one in Africa who let them in. Settle. Clean up nice. They relaxed at home. Now they can call it their home because of you lot. You didn't do what your ancestors done. You should have brought them to the last battle. And you're still cowardly now.
Funny. You're in the UK. You're trying to tell me.
Keep getting them, Lewis. Keep getting them, Lewis. Keep going, Lewis.
Let me to die for your land, right? You should get out of the way.
No, I'm not going to die if I can get it. If I can get it for free, I'm not going to die.
Trump is giving you a helping hand.
Something called land
Trump
invasion.
is giving you a helping hand. Put the white guys on the planes, let them to and get the black people on the ground. Settle down, start, get what's his name? My boy, Carla to do his African nation, Carla, whatever nation he wants to do in South Africa. Replace them white people. You shouldn't do it. These people are so wicked. Right? Israel gave them nuclear bombs to kill the rest of Africa if we attack, but we were still ready to attack. But you guys see these white people as precious people. You think if you're nearer to them, you're going to be better somewhere you go closer to heaven. That's what you're thinking.
Oh, okay, tell me, what do you need to happen?
Land reparation, what they call it, without compensation. Land without compensation, whatever you call it.
What are we doing now?
ASAP.
What are we doing now?
Because you're cowardly. You're coward up. How long you been sitting on it?
You don't know what you're talking about, my friend.
No,
how long have you been sitting on it?
Louis,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Louis, sometimes
keep going, Louis. Keep going, Louis.
You know, sometimes it needs step because look at here. Probably at that time, if they could have taken the land and not have the manpower and the know-how.
Hey, brother, listen to me.
To manage it. Now it's different. There is a lot of black
managing it. Your ancestors, your future children couldn't manage it. Okay? Don't worry about that. Get rid of them. You should have got rid of them a long time ago. You should have went to fight war. Hand-to-hand combat. Let them kill most of you lot. It doesn't matter. The amount you got in numbers, you would have driven them to the sea by now. That's why they don't respect you.
But Louis, why take something like that? What you can take by let me tell you something.
Is your life more precious than the Zulus who fought against them people back in the old days? Is your life better than that?
That's exactly what
your life ain't worth shit.
Let me pass the mic. Let me pass the mic. I got to pass the mic. Go ahead, Lozy. Lozy's from South Africa. Go ahead, Lozy.
What's up, Freedomers? So we've got this old wreck here, Bames loser, who stays in London, by the way, telling us that we are the biggest disappointment to black people or whatever. We're the only most functional black nation on earth, the most industrial one. So you don't get to advise us while you fled your shithole. You don't live in your country. You live in a white man's land. So you fled your shithole and you got a big mouth. Come on, dude. You don't know nothing about us. We know our country than you. So please, man. Sorry, Dynasty. Greetings to you, brother. So I think Muzi said a lot of factual things, to be honest. I was listening, and before this bum-ass old loser came here to degrade us. You know, Muzi was speaking from a position of knowledge. We can't hear you, dude. But anyway, Muzi said a lot of factual things, Dynasty. I think so far what is happening is that Trump and his administration, they're trying to intimidate us. The only thing I don't agree with Muzi on is the Malema thing. I don't think we should defend Malema. He's a populist and he does things that don't make sense sometimes. So he didn't have to sing that song, to
I'm
be
not
honest.
defending him, ne? I was just explaining the reasoning. I also don't like want him saying that song because it's just making things a bit dicey, like for us, like via image wise, PR wise, the way we want to do things. That's not the way we want to come off, right? But he shouldn't be arrested for that or lose his job for that. No.
Yeah, let me just say this on Louis. The Zimbabweans handled their situation the way they did. Almost 3 million of Zimbabweans are living in South Africa today. So I don't think you're in position to advise us and tell us what to do regarding our country. You're not even in your country. We Black South Africans tend to live in our country because our solutions and our approach works better than Black people in your country. That's why you flee. We don't flee our country because we still have got stability and we are maintaining that. Dynasty, the truth is that America is going to come for us. You know, they're coming for us because of mostly the BRICS situation. America sees BRICS as an alliance that is working against their interest, and we can't blame America for that. The other one is what we did, taking Israel to court. You know, this Afrikaner story, it's just, you know, I feel like it's just a bypass for the agenda they have. So I think what I'm listening from our politicians and officials is that they're trying to quickly merge more of our economy with the BRICS alliance, and the BRICS countries have been coming forward, standing with South Africa. I saw Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, making quite a bold statement. China, I think they've already replaced that American aid. I don't think that aid is necessary though, but I think China has pledged 16 billion rand to South Africa for that aid, which will help HIV and all that. And I think that 16 billion rand, Muzi can help me. That 16 billion rand could be equivalent to maybe that 400 million US dollars.
Yeah, more or less that, but it's less than 1%. If we really
Why are you
wanted
taking
to
aid from America?
tighten our belt.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why are you taking aid from America? You're richer than the other Africans. Why are you taking aid from white people in America?
Dynasty, is this how can we speak and then Louis will speak because we have to be civil. Louis,
why are you taking aid?
Look, Louis,
You
might
say you're
be
better
coming
than all
from,
the other Africans. Why are you taking aid?
Louis, you might be coming from uncivil country where there's no civilization.
Can you answer me? Why are you taking aid?
I can't speak when you're shouting, man.
Well, speak,
I mean,
brother. Why are you
Okay,
taking aid?
but Lozy, he makes a great point. If you guys are doing so much better than all the African countries,
but
why are you taking aid?
how much?
No, like
Dynasty,
the NGOs were the
wait,
ones that
Muzi.
were taking that age.
Muzi, wait,
that
Muzi,
age.
wait.
It's
I'm
not
gonna Muzi,
and it's
Muzi,
American
let me
NGOs that do it.
explain. Muzi, let me. Oh my God, Muzi, let me explain. Dynasty, don't be biased. Allow us to speak because now you are allowing this old wreck to speak.
No,
Who you calling old? By the way, who you calling old?
Hold on. Let him answer the question. Lozy, answer the question. If South Africa is doing so good, why are you guys taking aid? Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know who said South Africa is doing so good, like the way you put it, but yeah. So we've got a good budget that we don't need that aid. The problem is that Dynasty, South Africa has got a chunk of refugees in Africa. Most of this aid, our officials said so. It traces back to the NGOs that are here pushing their international interest, and it helps a lot of our neighboring countries, especially in terms of HIV programs. South African healthcare is the best in Africa, by the way, and a large chunk of it comes from our own tax-paying population, about more than 75% of it. So clearly, we can do well, but we've got a large community of migrants, and I think because America's got
you're blaming the migrants. So you're blaming the migrants for your
You don't want an explanation
taking from
now.
America.
You don't want an explanation now.
So I'm giving
Now you don't want an explanation. Now you don't want an explanation.
I'm giving you an
turned into
answer
a
that
nation
you
of
don't like. Now
coons.
you're
You've turned
saying.
into a nation of
I'm gonna
idiots
ask
and
Rosie
coons.
to call you a bum.
So
Because
you're an old
you're
guy
not
who
taking an
lives in
explanation.
London and advising us about black
Hey,
countries.
my friend, if you think 55 years of age is old, that's good. That's for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
this
you live
old
in
man,
London, isn't it?
listen, this old man has
So,
got
so you
enough
live
guts
in
to pick up
England.
a gun and fight
Okay,
for
you're
his
a
land.
teenager.
So,
You're a
Other than
so you're
teenager.
not in your
you
country.
can't do that.
So let's get this one
How much
clear.
of
You
the
don't even
industry?
live in your
How
country.
much of the industry do you own in South Africa?
How
Tell
much
us.
of what? How much
How
of
much
what?
of the industry do you black people own in South Africa?
I can tell you, we own 30%
So,
Can you
of
go to
since
the
the end of
internet?
apartheid,
Can you
you've been
go to
stuck in your
Google?
ass all the time.
Go
Mosey,
to tell us.
wait,
Tell us if you know everything. You must tell us.
wait, Mosey. Louis, we own 30% of Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You can go look at
You
the
own,
data on
my friend,
Johannesburg
listen
Stock
to me.
Exchange.
It's called a little token to let you blacks in to make you feel like you got something. You ain't got fuck all, mate.
All right,
That's why the Nigerians don't respect you no more.
So you
don't
just
run
want to
nothing.
make noise.
You get jealous of Zimbabwe who are more qualified and
Okay,
educated than you guys. That's why
we
they
are
get good jobs
we are
when they come to
jealous of
South Africa.
Zimbabweans. So we are jealous
Okay?
of Zimbabweans and Nigerians who
They're
are
the
fleeing their
real
countries.
worries. Not you guys. Not you guys. They're the real worries.
So we are jealous
Don't
of people who are fleeing their
degenerate,
countries,
man.
begging to be in our country.
Hey, my friend,
So we are jealous of
getting a
that.
scrap. You're getting a scrap from the white man. That's what you're getting.
Okay, so
You're
I
sitting on the
say
phone thinking
something?
you're running something. You ain't running nothing.
Can I
okay.
say something?
The white
So
man
how
running.
come
You are asking
wait,
about industries, right?
wait. How come we live in our country and we don't flee, but you're not in your country?
Because you think that by living, who told you you don't leave your country? I've got 5 South African friends right
There's
now.
South African outside this
I've got South Africans here right now. What are you talking about?
There's not
Dynasties
many
in
South
Africa.
Africans like
You are in
people.
all the way in the
You people are
UK.
everywhere but your
Listen to
home.
And
me
you want to
very
tell us how
carefully.
to live
Right?
You
here in
people are
Africa?
everywhere but your home
It
country.
is quite obvious
Yeah.
for the whole world to see why the
They'd
white
rather
man
drown in the
was able
Mediterranean
to run rings
other
around you.
countries.
We
It's
are
quite
doing better
obvious.
than your home country, though. We are doing better than your home country. You can't take that away from us.
Don't say-
Black people
Oh,
in
you
this
are. Oh,
country
good luck to you
live
then.
better than
Good
your
luck
home
to you.
country.
All right.
Wait.
Good luck to you.
You see, Dinas, this is
Good
another
luck to you.
point I wanted to raise on this issue is when Elon Musk or the Trump gang come up with genocide. Sometimes we need to go deep and search deep. You see, this is when this country, like especially the powerful like the US, UK and stuff, have the back and they back up a certain group somewhere, especially in Africa. They will protect, although those people might be the perpetrators, but they will portray them as the victims. This is another thing. And I'll raise this awareness about what happened in Rwanda. What they portray to the world is if the so-called Hutus, they are the one only who were killing the Tutsis.
Carl, we're not talking about Congo. We're not talking
I'm
about
giving
Congo.
you an example. You see, for South Africa, the Trump gang is trying to portray as if the black South Africans are killing or they are genocide, they're massacring white. Although it's not true. This is another thing as African. That's why I always advise, let's sometimes refer to black media instead of just relying to this, white part of the media or white part of information. Please, that's another thing I want to raise. So, Brother Lozi and Muzi, bro, don't say that there are also South Africa outside. Like where I'm here, in Texas, I've met tons of South Africans.
But it's not a lot, brother. But it's not a lot compared to.
Yes, compared to
it's not a lot
other
like
countries. Compared to probably to country where there is war, it's not the same. But you can't say that
even countries that don't have war. I mean, where does this brother Luis come from? As he told us where he comes from, can he tell us his country? Because he's living in the white man's country. Can he tell us where he is, the shithole he comes from? Can he tell us his shithole? Because he fled, obviously.
First and foremost, where I come from.
What is the name of your shithole country, brother? What is the name of your shithole country?
Where I come from is not a shithole country. First and foremost.
You're never gonna mention it. You're never gonna mention it. Right?
No,
mention the name.
Listen,
mention the name of that shithole.
In other folks' business,
mention the name of the shithole.
Let me speak. Are you gonna let me speak? You asked me a question.
Reply that mention the shithole you're from, so that we can analyze your shithole.
I don't come from a shithole.
Yeah,
but you know what the shithole? Listen,
tell us the name of your country. That's why you're not telling us the name.
Listen to me. I'm answering your question. Let me ask.
What mic?
Let's calm down.
One mic.
So you're from Ghana.
So
you're from Ghana.
no, guys. Well, I'm muting
Lozy,
everybody.
chill,
Come
chill,
on.
Lozy.
But Muzzy, I'm just shocked that Muzzy, you were complaining about Trump, but you're co-signing on Lozy's language, in which Trump
Like,
was saying
come on, bro.
using
No,
the shit.
I was
but Dynasty,
explaining.
are you
You
I was
know, that's the
explaining.
same shit.
This lunatic has been
Dynasty.
saying a lot
I
about
was
us. You allowed
explaining
him to say shit about
what
us,
the
Dynasty.
It seems
situation
like
And now
Daniel's
I'm
got a problem with
fighting,
Trump
I'm pushing
because y'all
back.
be saying
You've
the
got
same
something
shit
to
that
say
he's
against
saying.
us, Dynasty.
Chill.
You are a part of
Chill.
the problem, brother, Dynasty.
No,
I have to tell you
Lozy.
the truth.
Don't
You are
do
a
that.
big problem.
No,
don't
And
don't
you're jealous of
don't do
something.
Now
I
you're
have to
attacking
tell
the
you
whole
this,
country.
man.
Pause.
So,
Now you're
so
attacking the
this
whole
don't
country.
do that.
guy, he's been
No,
saying
No,
a
no,
lot
not,
about
no,
our
no, no.
country. You were
Now
mute,
you are
but you
attacking the
like
whole.
it. No,
Lozy,
Okay?
no,
chill,
You
chill,
asked me a
man.
question.
Lozy,
Let me
Part of the
answer you. You
Putilosi,
asked me a
no,
question. Let
but
me
South
answer
country
you.
no,
is not good to
no.
discourage
Okay?
other
Listen to
African
me
people
very
to speak
carefully.
something is doing
You
better
didn't
than
want to answer,
Listen to
but
me
now
very
you want to
carefully.
answer. Okay, let's mute up.
Let me answer you, okay? A shithole is a township in South Africa. That's a shithole. And you're
A
so
township
stupid.
in
Wow.
South Africa
That's
will be a
Wow.
30
capital
years,
city in your
30
country.
years or so since apartheid, and
A
you still
township
got
in
a
South
shithole
Africa will
called
be a
township.
capital
And you
city in
got a
your
nerve to
country.
talk
You know
about my
that, right?
country?
Wow.
A
You don't
township
know
in South
Soweto.
Africa, like
Eh?
You
Soweto,
left
You
a
don't know
Soweto,
nuclear
Soweto,
bomb
eh?
country, a nuclear
You don't know
country. You
Soweto,
can't
right?
even get
Soweto
electricity no
will
more.
be a
You can't
capital
even get
city in
24
your
You don't
hour
know
country. So we
Soweto.
can
electricity.
Google
And
Soweto.
you got
You
a
We
don't
can
nerve to
know
Google
talk
our
Soweto.
about me?
townships. Let Dynasty play a video of our townships. They will be capital
Lozy,
city in your country. Our
Lozy.
townships are cities in your country.
No,
Lozy,
that's
no,
not
no,
what
no,
you
no,
wish.
no.
That's
That's
You,
what you wish.
Guy, hold on.
no,
Let me
Lozy,
pass the
You
mic. Let me
wish.
pass the mic. Hold
explain
on.
yourself.
I got to mute.
Chill.
Let me pass the mic. We winning. You wanted to ask something. We winning. I'm gonna pass it to Johnny after you.
Yes. I'm
Go ahead,
trying to
we winning.
figure out how are we gonna get mad at Donald Trump and we literally
Yeah,
using the
you in the
same
matrix,
term
man.
that
Hold
they
on,
Muzzy,
said
hold on.
that he
Muzzy.
said.
You got. We want to repeat that because Muzzy interrupted. Repeat that again.
Like I said, how are we gonna get mad at the man, the president of the United States, for supposedly saying a shithole country when we're gonna use that for our best benefit?
We winning.
when it comes to arguing?
We winning. That's literally what I just said. I literally just said that.
Like,
How are you guys mad at Trump? And then you guys are using the same language,
same rhetoric,
same rhetoric.
No,
out
it
of
Same
y'all
seems
rhetoric.
like
own
it's a
mouths.
language that people understand here. Like that
But
guy in the
dog,
middle.
you can't
Seems like he
you can't
understands that
use
language.
that situation and say, "Oh, Trump, you fucking up. Donald Trump, man, fuck you."
No, like
Then say the same shit and say, "Man, you live in a
I'm
shithole."
talking with a
How the
toddler,
hell you
I'm
gonna
talking in a
spin that
language that
around?
a toddler can understand.
Can I speak? Can I speak? Because y'all spoke for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I was literally doing
Sorry,
stock
man.
market
Sorry.
charting and literally didn't get nothing to say. Like I said, man, this is an opportunity to build your own shit up. Build your own shit up because the Clintons in Africa, how does the Clintons being all up and down Africa help? Because literally looking at what Elon Musk uncovered, the Clinton Foundation had $5 billion liquid. Chelsea Clinton, and that's a grant, $5 billion grant, not loans, a grant. Then 85 million went to Chelsea Clinton for her initiatives in the continent. Now, you say that the Westerners need to be out of the continent. I agree. These are globalists that here in America that us as people that voted for Donald Trump don't like. The silliest thing about the situation is you're defending the globalists that you say that you want out of the continent. But that shows you that the media does a very good job in getting people all in a whirlwind without understanding the context of what's thoroughly going on. These globalists has managed to get billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars come in the situation. Kids get missing. Situation of human harvesting, body organs, situations of literally moving guns, coups, situation that everybody that is a militant in the continent of Africa or a militant that's from Africa that went to Europe or you went to the United States has all stated that this is a problem. If we are literally nullifying the problem for you guys, this is an opportunity for you guys to say, all right, white man ain't going to be in the continent. White man doesn't have the funding to be in the continent. Now it's time for us to be able to fortify and figure out what can we do for our countries. I'm not saying that we should be one big ass Africa because I can clearly see that ain't possibly going to happen. You got South Africans versus Nigerians versus East Africans. Cool. But the situation I'm trying to point is if you have the globalist white man out of the continent, because mind you, I've literally talked to a lot of globalist white people, they can clearly care less about your tribal issues. The situation at hand is we get them out the way. You guys build up your own shit. You guys can be able to leverage your own means of productions to be able to get manufacturing, warehousing, and build your national security and build some form of security no matter what region in the continent. And I yield my mic. But shout out to you, Brother Lewis.
No,
No.
I'm passing the mic to Johnny. I'm passing the mic to Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. Unmute yourself, Johnny.
What's going on, Prince Dinas? Appreciate
What's
it, man.
going on, bro? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm out here in Dar es Salaam right now, so I might not have a good connection.
You sound good. You sound good. Go ahead.
Okay, appreciate it. Oh, one more thing, bro. I didn't see. I'm not able to super chat for some reason out here, but I didn't see you drop the Cash App in the section, so I could find it later on. I wanted.
I'm gonna put in the chat right now. Listen,
right.
you can Cash App right now because y'all be saying I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get. I got you, Dinas. I got you. Then y'all disappear. It's in the chat room right now.
All right, fuck it.
It's in the chat room right now. Y'all be like, man, I got you, Dinas, man. Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you, and y'all disappear. Go ahead.
Times are hard, Dinas. Times are hard.
Yeah, I got you, Dinas, man. Yeah, man, I got you, brother. I got you, Dinas. What your Cash App, Dinas? I got you, brother. I'm gonna get you.
All right, I'm gonna do it right now.
Then y'all disappear.
Go on, drop a big one, brother. Let's see.
How much?
Man, send $1,000, Johnny. Hey, Dottie. Hey, send $1,000.
I'm gonna send you 1,000.
Brother, see what you can do.
1,000 shillings. Okay, hold on. 1,000 Tanzanian shillings. That's what, like. Come on, send $1,000 USD. Big money, big money.
I send 100. I got you though, bro. I send 100.
Okay.
I think it went. There it goes. But yeah, I appreciate the forum, man. I just was thinking,
Shout
is
out,
it a lot
Johnny.
to go through? Say what?
Hey, shout out for the $100 holla.
Yeah,
What up,
bro,
brother?
no problem. Get a blunt to go with that coffee that they gave you earlier.
Okay, all right. A blunt? No, I don't smoke.
No, I'm joking, bro. But
okay, it's all good.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So what I was wanting to say is that I'm listening to the back and forth and everything, trying to understand a little bit more of what's going on. But I was kind of more thinking about the implications of Elon Musk. Clearly, he got some type of he's from South Africa and everything, and now he's got power in the U.S. government. I think he can really use that. He was calling for sanctions on Julius Malema earlier, and I think he's trying to make the whole country kind of suffer because of the actions of Malema and everything. And I was thinking from American first perspective that it kind of looked like interventionalism when we got somebody who's his priorities don't seem to be kind of caught up on what we want to do with foreign policy. It's still trying to influence what's going on around the world and everything, And even though Malema is not the president, you still get there's crazy things that have been done and said by globalists, We Winning was saying earlier. I mean, if you look at stuff I don't want to start calling out countries and stuff, but I will say Netanyahu, a lot of what he's doing and saying and everything, and called for and has been more damaging. And I don't hear nothing about no sanctions on him, So I just think that's kind of.
You're not going to hear that, brother, because he's part of the axis of white supremacy. They supported the racist white South African apartheid by giving them nuclear weapons. So you should know exactly where this is going. You already clued up on that anyway. But the only ones who ain't clued up on that, these dummies wearing that flag he's got down there.
Let Brother Johnny finish, man. I don't think.
No, that's all I really wanted to say, man. I don't really have much. I'm just kind of listening to the whole.
Okay, Dennis, can I say something regarding? Dennis, can I respond to?
Hold on, let me give a shout out to the brother for the $100 holla, and then let me give a shout out to Usman Kone for the $15 Cash App holla as well. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead, Lozy.
Yeah, look, Winning. If I'm correct, I think you were implying that we should do away with this foreign aid and do our own thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I 100%.
You should have it. You done well, yeah.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Hey, hold on, Louis. Hold on. Go ahead, Lowe's. You are the Ghanaian UK version of College Genesis. Go ahead.
Allowing mad people on your panel, Dennis, is it keeping the panel going? But anyway,
don't insult him, Lucy. Don't.
Winning. So I 100% agree with you. No, we South Africans were shocked. I think Muzi can confirm this. We didn't even know that.
I didn't even know about this.
We didn't even know that we received aid to America because other African countries, their aid is in billions. So I think it's really bad that this aid actually is used as a soft power. They're pushing their agenda with this aid, the LGBTQ the influx of migrants into our country as well. Lots of things. The foreign NGOs infiltrating our parliament. You know, the white people here. It's just nonsense. So I'm for cutting the aid away from the West. Maybe if we don't get the aid at all, they wouldn't have any power to influence us. I think what is happening currently in South Africa is that we are diversifying our systems of trade. China currently is our biggest trading partner, America becoming second. And I think it was always America throughout history for the past at least 20 years. But currently, as Muzi said, China is our biggest trading partner. The only thing America still has on us is that we still depend on their services. It's more of the services, but I'm for migrating away from the dependence of the West. And I'm supporting Trump. I mean, Trump, I think, is a nationalist. Why should America be paying aid to other countries, especially countries that are aligning with the interest, the countries that don't have best interest of America? So I think South Africa, we must diversify, and we will be fine. You know, yeah. That I believe that we should cut that aid from USA. We shouldn't be getting that aid at all. So that's yeah.
Okay. Shout out to JC. There's a lot of small hats living in SA in the diamond industry. Okay.
Yep. True.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room if you want to call in and have the conversation. But go ahead, Call.
If I can talk on the point that Lozi has just mentioned. Lozi, another thing which I have to inform you, South African, is that you know, yes, I'm not talking about migrants, but you know, refugees in South Africa, what the situation, what the system. Because I was one, you know, I was an asylum seeker, or I was an asylum in South Africa from 2003 to 2009. And one thing which sometimes your government is not telling you.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Congo.
Okay, but you know how we live, right? And so
yes, I know everything. I've lived in Durban, I've lived in Joburg.
Like we grew up around Africans, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you can, if you want, you can raise up a point. So there is another thing. You know, in UN Convention, there is that clause that South Africa has to receive some refugees. Of course, there is now a problem with maybe criminal refugees or criminal migrants, which, yes, it has to be dealt with. But another point you have to know, or you are not aware, from 2000, you remember the first wave of xenophobia, which was in 2008, around 2000, 2009. I was still in South Africa. There is many countries in West. I remember there was Australia, there was Sweden, there was even US and Canada. They were asking South Africa to release a number of refugees so that they can be resettled in this country. But South Africa was holding to it. And later on, we came to find out that all of these refugees who were in South Africa, of course, some were contributing economically, but there is money, there is some, I don't know how they call it, but grants that the UN provide to South Africa on those things. And this is what, you know, a lot of South Africa are not aware of. Refugees are not just there, you know.
I know what you're talking about, but that information came out. There's a lady I follow as well. She's the one who brought that information to my light. Yes, you are right. There's some money that United Nations does give to countries with high influx of refugees, or just refugees in everywhere across the world. South Africa, having the largest migrants community in Africa, it's one of those countries that do receive that amount. But unfortunately, that amount is not enough. South African government end up using its own national budget to cover up. So it's just not enough. I think if you live in South Africa, you know what we're talking about, brother. And I hope Congo, your situation there in Congo, I really hope you can settle it and become fine. I was in Kinshasa last year, November. I'm doing projects. I won't give you the streets names, but I'm doing projects in about 3 streets in your country in construction. So you know the main road in Kinshasa?
I know that Congolese and South Africa, they try to collaborate a lot. I know.
Yeah. So I really pray your country comes all right. But anyway, yeah, that story of the aid, I've been following it up. It has always been there, but unfortunately, sometimes it's just not enough. It's not enough to even keep migrants here. Remember, ANC currently is losing its power because of the biggest issue is migrants. You know that they are no longer majority, right? Muzi, I mean, let me just allow Muzi to speak, because people will be saying I hate migrants, blah blah blah, because that's how they do it. They don't want to hear the truth.
It's not about hating migrants, right? We grew up with migrants. You know how we live, right? It could be a small house, backyard dwellings. There could be a Mozambican, a Zimbabwean, a Congolese. Like Soweto is like full of migrants, right? And majority of the immigrants that we have, or African brothers, even the word migrant sounds like weird. It's good people, right? It's good people all around. Like uh, that's not even an issue. What is an issue is the fact that there's this globalist agenda where people are pushed out of their countries to countries of like where they call like safety or for economic reasons or for whatever. So obviously if everyone comes to then South Africa, then what happens into their countries? Like who's left there to fight? Who's left there to build a country? If you go to the UK and you settle in the UK, have kids in the UK, who's there to? So it's basically we are being paid to babysit like people from other countries just so that things could like people could loot without any interference in their countries, right? And obviously that issue is always portrayed as South Africans don't want immigrants or foreigners. It's always portrayed like that. But that's something that is something different. Even there's even foreigners in South Africa who don't agree with the foreigners who are coming in, especially so we have our problems with crime. We have
Yes.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
and we
So
don't like the ANC. Trust me, we do not love the ANC, but when when they push an agenda that we feel it's in our interest, we're going to support them. When they do not do that, we're going to vote them out. So that's why they are on like 35% in terms of the votes. So
and
basically, what I'm saying is we don't have a problem with Trump because with some of the things that Trump says we are aligned with, right? What we have a problem is the people who are behind Trump, who are hijacking this agenda. Like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not there because he believes in America first or whatever. He's there to amass wealth and to have this power and be the guy who's on the chessboard and just moving pieces, right? So I kind of feel like Trump is straying away from his initial idea of America first. Because now, if you're interfering in South Africa, that's no longer America first. So when are you going to fix America if you are going to be then fighting with South Africa, fighting with China, fighting with Russia, you're protecting Israel, you want to build I don't know hotels or like leisure places in Gaza, and it's all the way messed up. So I hope he figures his stuff out and he kicks Elon Musk out of office because there are South African billionaires that he's friends with who are globalists and they're pushing their own agenda through Trump. So Trump is being policed right now. So I'm just hoping that he's not going to fall into that hope because he thinks, okay, the CIA are no longer like they're no longer chasing me, these people or the establishment or whatever. I mean, he sleeps with an establishment. Elon Musk is the establishment. So whatever that he's pushing right now, if Trump can wake up tomorrow and sign an executive order to say white people from South Africa should come to America, I mean, come on, like let's be real, guys. We are not against Trump. Whatever that he's
You
doing,
should
we
welcome that,
also
my
want to
brother.
do it in our
You should
country.
welcome it. If he wants them to go to America, welcome it.
No,
It'll do you
with
good.
that, we have a campaign where we're pushing that. We actually going to help them pack and go to like
That's
if
what
they
I want
want
to
to
hear.
take a ship, go to
That's what I
ships.
want
If
to
they
hear.
want to fly out to Old Tambo, we're gonna be there, pick up their bags. It's all gonna be cool, man. Don't worry.
And
We are
I
on
met
this
Mr.
thing.
Oliver Tambo as well, personally. I met him, spoke to him. I had a privilege
It,
of meeting him, speaking to him. He's the one who done a
yeah,
real work PR here in the
the old
UK.
man is resting. Like this is a new generation. There's an agenda that we have. And unfortunately, I think everyone looks at South Africa like, okay, the failed state. No one really looks at South Africa like a real African
No,
country, right?
we see
Everyone
it
is like,
as a
they're
missed
not, they're
opportunity.
not.
It's a
I
missed
mean,
opportunity.
come
It's
on.
not too late.
There
It's
is
not too
time and
late,
space. There's
right?
time and space for things, right? There's time and space for things because look at what Zimbabwe has done. They did the right thing, but the timing was wrong, and the
No,
space
the
was
timing
because
was not wrong.
all Zimbabwe, the
I
timing
tell you
because
what
all
went wrong with
Zimbabweans
Zimbabwe,
right
brother.
now. all Zimbabweans
Brother,
are in South Africa. Like,
listen,
not all of them. I'm just exaggerating.
listen, you know what? Where Zimbabwe went wrong, but Mugabe learned from it. Okay, Mugabe came in hard. He let go a little bit. He played the diplomacy. Then he realized white people never share. They never ever share. So under
Those
Blair,
people
they
are
started
sneaky,
their
man.
bullshit,
Those
and he
people
has
are
to
very
go back in the fighting field. My advice to South Africans is this: if you're waiting for the white man to change, you're wasting your time. There's nowhere in history they have ever changed. But that idiot who had that flag coming on here, right? He's probably not even black, probably mixed some colored
Oh, man,
person
don't
or
call him
whatever,
an idiot.
right? He's an idiot, right? He's a sellout. If he's a black person, he's not black. He's probably one of those
No,
colored. That's why he
I
never
don't
shows his
agree with
face.
that.
I dare for him to come in and show his face when he comes back.
Yeah, but I
He's
don't
a
agree with
colored.
that. But also,
He's
can I
a
give
colored.
you
Brother,
some
listen,
advice?
listen,
Can I give you some advice? Can I
quickly,
give you some
because
advice?
I don't want to miss my train of thought.
So if you wanna know about an issue, don't look at social media. Everything
I don't look at
there.
social media, my friend.
Find
I'm well read on
no,
South Africa.
I mean
I'm well
no,
read on
but
South Africa.
I think you know the past, and you only know Malema and you know EFF.
Who
But
told
there's
you?
other
My friend,
stuff
I was
going
following.
on.
My friend, listen.
There's
I was following. If I know people like Oliver Tambo, what the hell do I need Malema for? Malema is a late start. He's a kid.
We don't talk about those people, bro. Like,
why
their
not?
name rest
Louis
in
is
I
peace.
knowledgeable.
talk about
Let
them.
their
Why
names
not?
rest in peace. Let their
Who did
name rest in
He's
peace.
done it. Listen,
Wait,
he's done his
wait,
job. We sit on his work.
wait.
We sit on his work, and we learn from
Oliver
the mistake
Tambo
they make.
he started in Britain. He never was really involved in
Who
the
told you
struggle.
he
was not
was the head
MK.
of the ANC? What were you talking about?
Wait. He was the head. He was just a suit at the end of the day.
My friend, don't talk. Now you're talking
That's why.
bullshit. Now you're talking crap,
And
bro. Now I'm losing respect for you, bro.
listen,
Now I'm losing
that's
respect for
why
you.
I don't care. I don't care about history or people who are dead or whatever. I care about now.
Yeah, well, right now,
the time that I exist
you guys are playing the game wrong.
Right now, right now,
Okay?
there's things that I am doing to advance my people's agenda, right?
And what's that?
You don't tell me about someone who's died. You don't tell me about Mandela.
But
you don't
you
tell
have
me
to
about.
consider history
You
as
don't
well.
tell me about. Don't tell me about those people.
Of course, you don't want to know. You know why?
Moses,
You think you can do well by cuddling up with a white man. It's never gonna work, my brother.
No, you guys live
You've
on
been
history.
fighting, and now you've been
Listen,
pally with him. He doesn't share.
I respect
He
history.
does not share
I
power.
respect history, but I don't relish in history. I don't fantasize. I don't become drunk with history, right?
Yes.
So
I
you don't
live in the
become what?
now. I do things now. I don't
Okay.
get
What
drunk on
new
history.
are you gonna do now that hasn't been done? Tell me. What new are you gonna do that hasn't been done?
I could say it now, but
Go ahead.
Kind of like illegal. It's illegal, but I won't tell you.
Of course you don't have none. You don't have it.
It's illegal, but I won't tell you.
You don't have it.
Let me say this. Muzi,
I'm telling you now, it's illegal, but I won't tell you.
Okay, Muzi, look here. You know, all of us here, we know that, of course, many countries, not only US, even South Africa, as you've mentioned, they are struggling with the issue of migrants. I understand that. But as we said, history, you go back to history, because why we learn history? We learn history so that we may learn what happened and correct, our future or work on our future. So you know that there was some time, it's in the point of history of South Africa, like many of our brothers, Black South African were migrant or were refugees in other African countries, up to Nigeria, actually, up to Nigeria. And if you know that all these African countries, for apartheid to take end, it was not only the armed struggle of Umkhonto Sizwe, or it was not only the struggle of ANC, but it was also with support of nearly all African countries. Of course, today you
exactly. Why do you think they don't want to know about it?
You have to complain.
They got no idea.
You have the right to complain about migrants, but sometimes you need to consider that this is our brother. Of course, I'm not saying that you have to take, because actually, even the migrant and refugees who are in South Africa right now is not like even 2% of most of these countries which have migrant or refugees there, like Nigeria, Congo, Zimbabwe. Probably Zimbabwe, maybe, but it's not that much. And among the complaint also which you about way to South Africa sometimes you make, some people, I'm not blaming all, and I know that in South Africa is not like even more than 50% that hate African migrant. No, I know that it's less than that, but those 40 or 30% of South African who doesn't like other African brothers. Some of the complaint that they push forward is not actually factual. It's just blaming, having the scapegoat, you know. And
No,
that's what you need.
wait,
It's a poor
Amka,
excuse.
let's not like deviate from the topic. I appreciate that, and I'm not one of those people, so I don't think there's even a reason to even talk about that. And I said I respect history, but I don't get drunk in history, right? Because I want to do things now. I want to do things now. You know, a lot of people are being managed in South Africa. You know, the anger is being managed, and you stayed in South Africa. You know, when South Africans like go mad, they go mad. You know that, right? So if
I
so
know.
that is what's being tempered down. Young people like us, if you see a Malima, you must know that there's like 10 million Malimas that just
I
been managed now.
I know.
Malima is
I know.
managing
Yeah.
our anger, right? He's managing our anger. If it wasn't for him, like you know what would have you remember that what happened in June? I think it's 2021
Yeah,
with the
with the
Zuma thing.
Dudula,
You remember? You remember? The
Dudula
country
issue.
almost went into into a blaze, like a blaze. But it was somehow controlled. But that was like just the tip of the iceberg, right? So that's why I always feel like South Africa's agenda in Pan Africanism, it's South Africa is always being undermined because people look at us as slaves, but if they really like thought about it, we've been fighting white people like from like it's been like 400 years, like fighting white people. My ancestors, my total names, my you know what I'm talking about, right? So
I understand.
I I
Ndi
I
mtu
I
wengu ni.
feel
Ndi mtu wengu ni.
yes. So that's what I'm saying right now. I feel like people could gain a lot listening to South Africans and what is happening on the ground rather than listening to what's being pushed by the algorithm outside there. Because I kind of feel like if I was also outside, I would look at it funny. Like, why are you guys staying with white people? Why don't you like chase them out, drive them to the sea? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Mm,
But
mm,
there's a certain education that we've
yeah.
been given, right?
Yes.
We know there's time, there's
Mm,
space, right?
mm.
We know when to capture, like, you see, like, people thought Syria was a puppet, right? But now the chess pieces are moving, and if they move in the right way and it's a multipolar world,
Yeah.
then things
Yeah.
become a bit different. Then we get
Yes.
space to move.
There's
So
opportunity
I
there.
yes, I feel like
I
sometimes
understand.
as black people we shout too much like at each other that we kind of like miss the point.
Can't
So
agree.
we agree on 90% of the things, disagree on like 10% of whatever like nonsense that like we always disagree on. But trust me, like if you watch the space in the next five 5 years, right? You see, Cyril is like took white people, put them into his administration, and everyone thought that, oh yeah, look at this puppets. But now the white people have to go and explain this thing to to Trump and them. They always have to explain. So Cyril is implementing these policies, and white people are the face. So if you really look at this thing like
Me, I
closely,
understand. Me, I understand.
you'll see that it's not just random things that are happening, right?
And
It's things, it's
Muzi,
pieces that have been put into place.
and that's why Muzi, I always defend when people tell me why South African they did like the brother said here, why they didn't take land in 1994. Why did I always
No,
tell
it's
them,
a
hey,
genuine question. It's a
yes,
genuine
yeah,
question
hold
because
on,
we grew up
and that's
asking that.
yes, that's why I say, it's sometimes you need to do stuff in steps. You don't have to go harsh or just go all in. You have to evaluate your maybe your competitor and see how strong he is instead of expend like using all your energy right now. You know that you can probably wind him down or beat him down step by step until when you get him, That's
Yeah.
a strategy, and that's what I
But
always say. So at
you know the
one
saying
point,
that says,
even me at the beginning, I used to blame. When I got in South Africa, sometimes I was in this type of political conversation with my South African brothers. Sometimes I used to blame the Mandela, group. But at some point, then I started realizing, no, these guys were wise. They knew that after these 10 years, probably after 15 years, our brothers will start gaining more power. They will gain more
That
power.
was a big mistake, my friend.
No,
That was the
it was
biggest
not a
mistake
mistake.
they
No,
made.
it was not a mistake.
It
It was
is
a
the
strategy.
biggest mistake you
No,
made.
no, it was a strategy. It was a strategy, and it
Has it
went
worked?
fine.
Has it worked?
It
How
will
is it
work.
working for you?
Yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, in some sectors it works.
Can I answer?
In some sectors.
You're not serious, man. You're not serious.
Louis, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How do you eat an elephant?
I don't eat
Do you eat it?
unclean
No.
animals. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, but it's don't take it
Well,
literal.
first and foremost, it's not an elephant.
I know. No,
It's
I'm
just a
saying, how do
small
you
group
eat an elephant?
who were heavily armed. You had
No.
next door. No, you had next door
Okay,
to
can I
learn
ask you
all your
something?
lessons from.
Can I ask you something?
You had next door called Zimbabwe to learn all your lessons from, and you chose
Listen,
to ignore Mr.
Can I
Mugabe,
ask you something?
who was negotiating for you.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
That small
Yeah.
that small country in the Middle East.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the name.
I'm not talking about Israel. I'm talking about South
No,
Africa.
No.
I'm talking about South Africa.
But I'm telling you,
I'm talking about South Africa. It's a different situation.
It's not just South Africa. It's not just
It
the
is
whites
just South Africa.
in South Africa.
It's a completely different situation. We're not talking about Israel.
It's not just white people in
We're
South
not
Africa.
talking about Israel.
Why do you think they're running to America
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
and being teachers' pets? Why do you
We're
think
talking
they have
about
to run
South.
to America?
We're talking about South
If
Africa, brother.
they have that
Louis,
power,
sometimes you need
that's
to
why
listen to others. Listen.
I'm
you
listening.
need to do your research, man.
Hey guys, let me read this super chat, and then one quick thing. So Trump just signed an executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Alan HB, the propagandist Elon Musk is using X to make the situation worse. He has Trump's ear, and that is why he's now calling for the boards to come to America. Musk has white Americans riled up.
I'm telling you, get Elon Musk away from Trump, right? Get him away from that guy, because now they're going in like I don't think Trump even wants to do this, right? But if he thinks it's a good idea and it's coming from Elon Musk, I think he might do it. But I also have faith in him that just like he removed Bolton and all those mad warmongers and globalists and stuff, I have faith that he's going to do that with this. And I hope he's going to reevaluate and be like, okay, no. These guys are bad for me, right? Because they're globalists. So Elon Musk was staying in what's the place in Florida? What do you think he's saying to him and all these other billionaires, the South African billionaires? I'm telling you, like, South Africa is not just a small country that's just there and insignificant. So they are trying to.
Brother, I'm not don't mean to cut you. Hear me out. His three biggest backers are all South Africans. If you don't know, that's the latest news I've heard.
Exactly.
Three biggest backers are all, and they made the money during the apartheid.
And he who pays you.
Obviously, dance to his tune.
So that's why I'm saying I don't have a problem with Trump and his agenda. It's perfect. It's perfect for his people. But once he starts like losing, like his concentration, and he veers off into other areas, America is going to be back in the same thing, and the world is going to be in chaos. And there's no need right now. But I think we are using that as an opportunity. We might be a small country. We don't have weapons. We're not that powerful. But what we
you're from
have
South Africa, right? You're from South Africa, yeah? What makes you a small country?
No, I'm saying in the broader scheme of things.
In the broader scheme of things, these people couldn't even win a war in Vietnam. So what are you worried about? They couldn't even do Afghanistan.
I'm saying, it's not only the economic hitman, right? It's not just weapons that influence
Okay, what else they're
or
gonna do?
depose like people in countries or
Right.
ruin
We know. Listen, we
economies
know.
and
I hear
yeah.
you. We know why they came after South Africa. We know that. Okay, but he was looking for an excuse, and you gave him one. You went after Israel. Okay, which is like the
Exactly, yeah.
center of all white supremacy. You went after them. Okay, and then you're gonna put together a form that the white people don't want to hear about, which has been on the book for too long. Okay, so that gives him Trump ain't stupid. He didn't just jump in. He said he's heard this and he's heard that. He's gonna double confirm it. But now I think he's probably gonna go with Elon.
And in
He's gonna
2000, in 2018, he said the same thing. Remember?
right.
And
Okay.
he left it and
Right.
he was gonna
Right.
like I'm gonna look into
Listen.
it and stuff.
Listen.
Then he
Listen.
disappeared.
I support a lot of the stuff that Trump came with. The LGBT completely support him. The aid, I hope he cuts it. That would be the best help for Africa.
No, I
He's
hope he
gotta
cuts
cut
it
all of
too,
it.
because we are
Okay, right?
surprised that there was aid.
But hear me
I
out.
mean,
Right. The point I'm trying to make is this: if it's your land, you shouldn't even blink 1 inch about what he's gonna say about it. You should do it. Okay, but the feeling I get is that a lot of white South Africans, we can work with the white people. Listen, you can't. And there's no way in history you show me where black people or people of color have dealt equally with the white man and the white man treated them right. It's never happened. It ain't gonna happen now.
white people are not confused. We know that they're not confused. They have an agenda, and they're driving that agenda. So what is happening right now with
You
this
don't
thing?
have to be part of their agenda no more.
What is happening right now with this thing is that now you have white people who want to stay, white people who want to go. They're fighting amongst each other, and Afroforum, they're interest groups. There's some people who are pulling out. They're losing members.
Why do you let them call it Afroforum? Why do you let them call it? It's a lot of white people, racist white people. Why do you let them call it Afroforum?
Listen, I think our first mistake was allowing a group like Afroforum, these interest groups like Afroforum, Solidarity. I actually think we should have foreign agents. What's that act? That American act, foreign agents, that covers like foreign agents and stuff like that. I think we should actually have this. Like this, I think there's someone in our member of parliament is working on that bill to introduce it to the parliament so that anyone who then conspires or is a lobby and conspires against South Africa, those people can be jailed, right? So I think we didn't have that. And I don't know for the life of me why we didn't have that, but also remember
I'll
the
tell you why.
ANC that
Because
infiltrated and it's a big
right.
mess, right?
Because the
But
ANC
right
the ANC have never been serious about taking the land from the white people. That's why they've taken this long.
it's not. I
They've
think
never been serious about it.
you know what the problem is. We had a plan, but what has been a cause of all this pain and chaos and it's the corruption, right? Black people allowing this
No,
globalist
we're not gonna
company.
do the black no more.
Listen,
We know black.
no.
Listen.
No,
We're not gonna do the
I'm
black
telling
no
you
more.
that obviously,
Right? This is an ANC problem. They've been in power.
No, I'm saying within the ANC, right? ANC is not just a monolithic group. Remember,
Brother, I know the percentages.
It's a combination of capitalists,
Listen, I know the
communists.
percentages.
They call it a broad church,
right?
They call it a broad church because they
Yeah,
have this
okay.
myth
We're
that they
talking South
put
Africa here.
everyone under one
Hey,
tent.
guys, we gotta close out. Hey, you know, we'll do a part
sorry,
two.
Dennis,
But
sorry,
everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. But till next time, family.
All right,
Dynasty Search for Haru. Peace.
Shout out, Dennis.